Push the video.
On your best behavior. On your best behavior. On your best behavior. Need you to be on your best behavior. On your best behavior. On your best behavior. Need you to be.
Good morning, everybody. This is Kay and Myrrie, but Myrrie is not here. Cayman is filling in for Myrrie as my co-host today on the podcast. As most of you may know, or if you've seen our previous podcast, Myrrie, father-in-law passed away, and so she is attending the funeral in Kansas City, Missouri. So, hi! So, good morning. So, like I said, Cayman, this is my 23-year-old. As I mentioned before on one of my podcasts, I was going through my list of children or young folks, and this is Cayman. So, Cayman, introduce yourself and then tell our guests the 4 things that they need to do.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kay, man. She said I'm her 23-year-old son, the third boy, the best boy. I'm just filling in for my auntie during their loss. We got 4 things we need y'all to do before we start even talking about this conversation.
That's right.
We need you to watch these videos, previous videos. We're talking about business, so everything is gonna relate to business. Share the video. Tell a person. Need you to comment and subscribe. Show some love. That's all we asking. That's not too much. It's free.
All right. So we're going to get into our topics this week that we're going to discuss. So we're going to talk about SBA loans. That's the small business loans. Your payroll grant, stimulus checks, your EIBL, which is economic injury, EIDL, D as in David, and that's economic injury disaster loan. And then we're going to talk about 7 steps of moving your business forward. So let's get started. BOYBB. Be on your best behavior. All right. So
I made that song, by the way, if y'all ain't know that.
Oh, yeah. Put your plug in there.
I know it's hard.
Yeah, so he created our, if you see the song that comes on at the beginning, our intro song, Cayman did that for us. All right. So, the SBA small business loan. Pretty much what I want to let people know about that is SBA is supposed to be with the stimulus pack or the package that the government has agreed upon. They're supposed to be streamlining the SBA loan. But what I want to tell you from a person that has applied for the SBA loan, because it came into effect March the 27th of this year, and they were supposed to start DBing out or granting that loan as of April the 1st. Not going to happen. We have received emails stating that they are not ready. So my thing is, if you're looking for the government to save your business and you can't sustain for 2 months or whatever, you better be out hustling, bustling, and doing something to sustain your business, because my opinion is I don't think these SBA loans are going to come into effect until probably like June or July. And so if you can't sustain your business for a couple of months, like I said, get your hustle on. Get your hustle on. They also had this $10,000 payroll grant that was supposed to be being in effect April the 3rd, which was last Friday. We applied for that too. In so many words, the state came back, because that's who is coming through, the state, and said that they would, they are sorry, they wish they could help everyone, but they can't. So in other words, we won't be getting that. I'm not saying that we're not going to get the SBA loan because it's supposed to be streamlined, but it's not that streamlined that we thought it was, the process. So, because I'm telling you, we had our application filled out, boom, before it even could, before they were taking them, and as soon as they opened up the site, we dropped our application in there. And this is what we're getting. This is the emails that we're getting that they're not ready. Also, the stimulus checks. So let me go through that, and then I asked Cayman what his opinion is on that. So the stimulus checks, they're supposed to be providing for individual families. $1,200 for an individual you're supposed to receive. $2,400 for couples. Age 16 and under, they're going to give the family additional $500 per child. There is an income cap, so there's $75,000 for an individual, $150,000 for couples, and then I also read somewhere that for if you're able to file head of household, then they would it would be $112,000 cap. So, are they giving that out? I'm not for sure. I haven't heard of anybody receiving it. So don't be out spending extra money thinking you getting this $1,200 in, and that don't come out. It don't come into effect. You don't get it until September. So in other words, hold your money, stack your dollars, count your nickels. Don't be jumping on that. So what do you think about that? The stimulus.
As far as the SBA loan, I feel like being a small business, I wouldn't necessarily try to basically wait or put my hopes out to get any type of loan. I know you spoke on it as far as like putting together different avenues of income and different things to hold your business down. As far as the SBA loan, I've been talking with my banker back and forth about that, and opening a new business, it's definitely less likely for you to get that loan. So I wouldn't even have no hopes for that. The payroll grant, I haven't really heard of it. I've heard something about it. She put a little bit more into my head, but I can't really speak on that. And stimulus checks, I mean.
You mean what?
I mean, let me know when somebody get one.
Okay. And then the economic injury disaster loan. That was the last thing, and that is supposed to be that is still like the small business administration loans. So let me tell you this. We did a small business administration loan years ago for my church. One of my sisters and I, we put it together. That form, that application was a book. It was about 78 to like 90 pages. I can't really remember off the top of my head. Well, the forms for the SBA loan is supposed to be, they're supposed to streamline it. So I filled out 4 forms. Myrrie filled out 4 forms, and then so I'm total we probably filled out maybe about 12 forms. So see how they're saying it's supposed to be streamlined, but it's not moving fast like we thought it was gonna move, because that they were supposed to be starting that as of March the 27th, and what is it today? It's April the 9th. So in other words, whatever you can do to try to keep your business afloat, you better be doing it, because these SBA loans is not coming out as quick as they was telling us. And I also ran across, they were saying that Bank of America is passing out all these SBA loans. Don't believe the hype. That's all. That's all I'm telling you. Don't believe the hype, and just continue to hustle and bustle and try to, keep your business afloat. So the other thing that we're going to talk about is the 7 steps of moving your business forward. So 7 steps, we're going to start with be knowledgeable. Be knowledgeable about your business and stay on top of new information. I know a lot of us are working from home, so read. The same thing I did for when I called down to the health department in Arizona or called the government, I called at least 3 times, because if you get the same answer twice, it's most likely the correct information. So that's what I'm saying, to read and be knowledgeable about your business. If you're reading stuff on the internet, see if you can find something else that's going to collaborate. You get the same answer twice, because they putting so much stuff out now on the internet that's in that some of the information is not correct or is not the whole truth.
That point is so important, because it's always a higher step. No matter what you do, if you work in a job, if you have your own business, it's always some knowledge to learn. It's always a way to get better. So reading and just understanding and having that knowledge, it just puts you in a comfortable position when you got to deal with a pandemic or something like of that nature. So I just want to stress the impact of that point. Read.
Okay.
Knowledge of your business, for sure.
So then one leads into two. Number two, find out other avenues you can do in your business to bring in additional funds. But the thing about it is, if you're not going to be knowledgeable about your business, you probably not going to know other avenues to bring in additional funds. So give you an example of with the behavioral health homes. Another avenue that we bring in money about with our business, besides the group home aspect, we also do consulting. So we have other people open up their group homes or assisted living. So that's another avenue. Another avenue that we're doing too is we're going to do a day program. That's another avenue that we can bring in additional income into our business. What about with your business?
As far as the beauty supply, we're just doing different things, selling different items, deliveries and shippings, online orders, just keeping the business afloat. Just finding different ways other than people having to, because people still gonna need their products. You're gonna still need their hair ladies to be beautiful. You're gonna still need your things to, you know what I'm saying, you wanna do. Just because you're stuck in the house don't mean you don't wanna do your thing and get it cracked, you know what I'm saying? So just finding other avenues and keeping that steady is definitely a good point.
Number three, always put some money back and don't touch it for a rainy day. So rainy day is like now. So I know that maybe you haven't done that in the past, but start doing that. Putting back money for a rainy day. So kind of like I always go back to our business is that I get a pay from my job, from the business. I get a pay. So some of that money I do not touch, because if I have to loan money to the company, say we get in a pickle or whatever, and I have to loan money to the company, I can do that. That's legal. Talked about it with our accountant that we can loan money to our business to make sure that our employees get paid. So that's one of the ways that put money back in saving it for a rainy day. Budgeting. Number 4, we're budgeting. If you have not been doing that, start it. This is the best time to start it because you're already kind of tightening your belt. So this is a good way to start budgeting. Will you have any input on that?
As far as budgeting?
Yeah.
It's very important. That's obvious with anything. It's funny because a lot of these tips that you can relate to business is just your everyday life, how you're supposed to do it. So budgeting, just preparing, it helps you for certain situations when you run out of products. I know I done had that, and different things like that. Just being able to adapt and being comfortable with it, not stressing about it and different things like that. That's what budgeting does. So
I have an example for that. So like when I was going through nursing school, as far as budgeting, my husband was making about $40,000, maybe $45,000 a year. So we lived off one income for that year. Once I finished nursing school, we added a little bit extra to that, like maybe $28,000 more, and we lived off of that amount of money, and we took all the rest of it and put it up, invested, did different other things. So that's what we're meaning about budgeting. So right now, if you start cutting back, when this thing comes over, stay at that level and see how your budgeting will help your daily life. So what we'll do, number 5.
You don't gotta be an expert to budget.
That's right, you don't. I just say write it down. I always go back to that scripture where it tells you to write it on the doorpost and things like that. So that's how I do my budgeting. I write it down and then I take it and put it up on the wall so it's like smack dab in my face.
Yep.
So I know to stick with it. Number 5, save money. Any amount is better than nothing. Any amount of money that you save is better than nothing. I was sharing with my family we have a chat, a clan chat, like texting back and forth. And I was sharing with them that last year I started the $5 challenge. So I saved $5 every time I went to the store and bought something. Whatever $5 they gave me back, I took it home. I had this old big oatmeal container that I cut a hole in the plastic top and then I taped it up with some tape.
Jimmy Red.
And I put the $5 in there. Well, this year, because it's been a whole year, I finally, since we've been at lockdown and staying home a lot, I went through that oatmeal thing and counted out my $5. I had $750 in that container. So think about what $750 can do for you right now. Some groceries, it could pay rent, it could pay a car payment. So think about that. That if you did something like that, you could do a $1 challenge, do a, I don't know, $10 challenge. But just start saving money. Anything is better than nothing. Yeah. Okay, number 6. If you have staff, communicate with them any major decisions made about your company. So just keep your staff informed, because I'm going to tell you this. If you communicate with your staff, man, I'm telling you, it makes a big difference, because they bought into your dream or into your vision. If you communicate with them, they'll be more likely to bend in I don't know, what I want to say, understand the situation at hand. So I was speaking with a lady on yesterday, and she said that she met with her staff. She has like 3 or 4, and she said, hey, in order for us all to come out of this on top and to be able to pay our bills, I'm gonna have to cut some salaries, or some incomes, or some paydays, or whatever I can't remember what exactly, but it was like income. And they agreed, because they know when they come out on top of that, when she do get the money, that she's gonna reimburse them of that. So just think about that.
That's just having a relationship with your staff. I necessarily don't have staff yet, but I do have investors. I'm invested myself, so just having that communication is just key. You don't want no misunderstandings, people misinterpreting what you're trying to do or what's going on. Communication, understanding is the best way to keep a business moving and successful. So.
Yep. And our last step number 7, whatever you had started doing when this pandemic or the lockdown started, continue doing that and completing it. So don't put your stuff on hold. Just continue to do that and complete it. So like an example is, we said that we were purchasing a group home for kids. So that process is still continuing, and actually we close on that April the 13th. We do a walkthrough this coming Saturday, which is what, the 10th or the 11th? The 10th? You know, you're staying at home now. Your days get off. And so then, and so we continue that process. So we close on that on April the 13th. Another thing that I was working on was the caregiver training program. So our name has went through. The inspector has gave us feedback. There's a couple of things I needed to correct on my application. So I've been doing that. So we're continuing to move forward. So whatever, if you're in school, continue to work on your degree, because you're going to school from home now. So what about you, Cayman?
The pandemic didn't make anything impossible. It made things harder. It made you have to adjust. It made you have to adapt. Simple things. So I just think it's no reason to quit what you're doing, especially if it's because of this. I feel like everybody has their heartaches through, especially having a small business. You're going to have your struggles and your problems. This is just one of them. So I think if you started something, definitely don't quit. Definitely keep striving. I know with the beauty store, I'm doing like deliveries and shipments. I'm expanding it, moving to social media and different things like that to keep it going. I know people can't necessarily come out for my safety, their safety. So I'm just adjusting and doing different things like that, but never quitting.
Yep. And so I think another thing that we're doing to kind of, it helps his store out too. We purchase extra equipment like masks, things of that nature. And so we got a better discount at it because we purchased a lot, but we was purchasing for the group homes, so we could put it in there. So we're selling masks out of his beauty salon. So people are coming by for masks in one of my country accent.
We are in Phoenix,
so
Arizona.
Face masks. So they are coming by there to purchase face masks and say, oh, this is a beauty supply store. So then they're purchasing beauty supply. And now that these people probably would never cross over to this way, because we had somebody come from our 2K. And I don't know if y'all know where our 2K is, but it's far, about 40 or 50 minutes from. but she came for the mask, and boom, here it is. She said, "Oh, this is a beauty supply store." Yeah. So just continue to doing what you're doing. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up today.
Did good. I think I did good.
You so silly. I think he stood in for Myrrie. He may not look as
I might take her job.
yeah. He may not look as good as Myrrie, but he'll do. All right, people. Y'all have a safe trip. Do you know what her saying is? And be